Greetings to all of you adorable dodecadorks. This is Jordan here with a special summer schedule announcement. As we enter the summer season here at the 12-Sided Guys, we're going to shift up our episode release schedule to every other week instead of every week. This helps all of us at the 12-Sided Guys better balance our editing and recording with our day jobs, family, travel, gambling, binging, pillaging, raiding, remorsing, regretting, repenting, regressing, repillaging, and re-raiding plans over the summer, so we can keep delivering that sweet, sweet D&D slop that we know you love. Now I know what you're asking, what will I do without my weekly dose of daring dice-slinging dudes and dudette? Am I destined for dastardly desolation from the D&D I desire? Well, fear not, my alliterative friend. You can always hang out with us on our Discord with other like-minded degenerates. And as always, there's some yummy content on our Patreon to sink your teeth into. We love our community. Your support over the years has meant the world to us, and we look forward to hearing and being heard from all of you this summer.
Welcome back, Dodecadorks. We're the 12-Sided Guys. We have Scott as Ornan.
At your service.
Sabrina as Sylvie.
Oh, hello.
Jordan as Mogram.
Oh, I love you guys.
Love you too.
Matt as Guy.
That is my name. Don't blur it out.
And me, Paul, just a nostalgic guy reminiscing about the campaign so far. Remember when Ornan got tackled and was force-fed Mogram's potion to remove the curse from the sword he took from one of the leaders of the Mafia of Redlam?
When he gave Guy a bloody nose.
It's what good friends do.
And how the fennel helped mask the taste of all the arsenic? Good times, good times.
It has licorice root.
Or how about that time when I said people should go leave us a rating and a review on iTunes because it really helps us get seen out there in the ocean of podcast options?
I remember that.
Good
Such
times.
wisdom.
Good times. Or how about when Sylvie decimated a force of peasant outlaws with a fireball and then got guilt-tripped about it for 4 sessions afterwards?
People just don't understand me. I'm complicated.
Good times. Or how about when I told you that patrons get to listen to our after show, Your Neighbor's Potatoes, and get access to a wiki and all the maps we use?
I remember that.
Whoa.
That happened.
Good times. Good times. Or how about when Guy was all like, I'm a horny guy. Good times.
Well, that was a great
Good
impression.
times. Anyway, if you...
I'm a horny guy.
all I can hear is Matt laughing in the background.
Sounds more like Ross Lacrosse to me.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, if you ever reminisced about the times you thought you were an elite soldier, but were actually just a Shinra lackey, then this podcast is for you. It's Chorus of the Forsaken, episode 77.
Please tell me you know what that was.
Final Fantasy VII, right?
It was Final Fantasy VII,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh, man.
Well, it was Final Fantasy VII here in the United States, but in Japan it was Final Fantasy VII.
I hate everything about that right now.
Dude, so that's like I'm laughing now, realizing how pretentious it sounds when I say that about Final Fantasy 3/6.
I mean, he could be talking about the remakes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back to Via Severia in the swamps of Pithria Barony. In fact, I could tell you what the swamp is. You are actually in the...
I mean, I'm pretty sure we said it was a bog because we keep talking about putting the bodies in the bog.
Well, okay, yeah, you guys are moving from the Bracken Bog into the Blackwater Swamp on your way to Kladvina.
Bracken sounds like a Utah name.
I'm so sick of swamps. These swamp sisters, these bogs, these swamps.
But you guys don't have to stay in Pithria. You guys had every option to leave. You guys could have stayed in the Feywild if you wanted to. Anyway,
Feywild sucks.
well, welcome back to the swamp. Last time we were together, besides our little one-shot that we did with just Ornan and me, the last time our whole party was together, we were in the swamp in the middle of a fight with some elvish soldiers that had been patrolling the swamp. Initially, it looked like it was going to be potentially rough, but a wall of fire from our last episode really helped
Hypocritical wall of fire, but still very helpful.
Well, it really helped to thin out all of the different fighters that were attacking you, and this fight actually ended relatively quickly. When all was said and done, the elvish commander was left alive, and there was one elvish mage who was knocked out but still living. Then we got to go through all of the stuff of this group of elves and humans who had attacked you, and you found some magical gear, including some boots of water walking. There was a ring of protection.
Sylvie has armor now.
Sylvie has an elvish chain shirt.
I'm so tough.
Yeah, and there was also a longsword, a named longsword by the name of
Benjamin.
by the name of Goringdel. It was an elvish longsword that, and upon initially looking at it, it said, "My sword is my shield," or something to that effect.
Guy's not sure. He doesn't read Elvish.
Yes, but it's
My
a plus
voice
2.
is my passport. Verify me.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That was so good.
I got that one. I straight got that one. Yes,
Is that Sneakers?
It's
Yes.
sneakers.
It's sneakers.
I love that movie.
Well, back to Goringdel was this plus 2 longsword that one time her short rest could actually cast Shield of Faith. And there were some spell books. There was also a magical horn. And there was a cloak of clear mind that gave plus 2 to wisdom saving throws. So there was all this gear, but probably more importantly, you decided you needed to chat with this elvish commander whose name was Aliana, which is apparently the same name as the alien girl from Fall Guy, which is a great movie. Finally watched it.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's okay. I don't think she's ever seen it.
Yes, no, she's never seen it. Aliana, you had this conversation with her to try to determine what was going on. She gave you some information. You ended up taking all of her things, including her boots, and you sent her on her way after
we did
convincing
a cloud
her.
of darkness or something, and then
Yes,
left in a different
actually,
direction.
you didn't send her on her way. She was still tied up. But you did leave a fire, and you did leave her so she wouldn't die. And you caught a cloud of darkness, and then you disappeared. You guys took off heading north after convincing her that you were actually heading south towards Corbuli. As you continued to travel, that's when you finally identified all of these magical items. You had still this elvish mage. That's a different anime.
Oh, yeah.
We left off with you guys all in camping in a cave inside of the magical turtle shell when the elvish mage woke
I
up.
think you were calling her a magus.
Elvish magus, that will keep me from saying maid. This elvish magus.
Was it Magus? Did you say Magus or Magus?
Magus?
It's just getting worse.
This
Magi.
elvish.
Did
This
she have any frankincense
There
or
were 3 of
earth
them.
on him?
This elvish magus. God, we're never gonna get anywhere. But that's okay. I don't have anything prepared. I'm kidding. This elvish magus woke up, noticed that Guy is an elf, and called him a traitor. And that's where we left off. And where we are picking up, we are going to fast forward just a little bit. In fact, we're going to fast forward one day from that night. It is now late in the afternoon the following day. You are traveling along through the swamp, and you can see and smell the cook fires. Remember, this is winter time. There is snow on the ground. You can see where the puddles and ponds are, so they're easy to avoid. for the most part, but every once in a while you do manage to step down into some squishy, wet ground and get your boots soaking wet.
Hate that.
Except for whoever's wearing those boots of water walking. Who's wearing the boots of water walking, by the way?
I mean, I stole the sweet armor. I don't want to take the boots.
Well, we will talk about who has what gear in just a second, because you are now approaching what must be Grimwater Grove. You can smell the cook fires, the chimney smoke is what I meant to say, of the town, and the trees begin to clear out a little bit, and you can see that you are approaching Grimwater Grove from the south. You are in, it's still forested, but it has kind of cleared out a little bit here on the south side of the city. There is a small community that you have heard is called South Slope, but the locals call it South Slop. There is a lot of small homes, and this is where a lot of poorer, more rural farmers and people who kind of try to live off the land where they live. There is then a series of wooden boardwalks to keep people up out of the water, and there is a long, thin, kind of narrow, rickety-looking bridge, and it is called the Weeping Walk that goes and stretches across a wide part of river. You can see poking out from the water the tops of some old, long abandoned, taken over by the swamp buildings, houses, that sort of thing. And then the Weeping Walk goes all the way to the Weeping Gate, which is the south gate of the city. From here where you're at, you can see that there are walls surrounding this city. You can see the rooftops of some buildings, and high up on this hill that's kind of north and central in the city, there is a massive cathedral structure. You see other buildings on top of this hill as well, but the cathedral dominates the skyline. You have heard it's called the Hall of Saints, and we might talk about it a little bit more later. But here you are at the south end of the South Slope.
Or South Slop, as the locals call it.
A beautiful city. It's not very nice.
So the thing about Grimwater Grove, I don't know if anyone has ever actually stopped here, but you have heard tell that the actual city of Grimwater Grove is built on solid rock. And so it is not really in danger of being taken over by the swamp, but there's not any more solid ground around it. And so anywhere outside of the city walls is built on marshy, wet land. And so these smaller homes, more rural homes, have a tendency to get taken over by the swamp on occasion as waterways change, as lakes and ponds form and dry out, as is the nature with wetlands. So as you are standing here on the South Slope, I guess my first question is, what has changed about our heroes? Who is carrying a certain sword? Who is wearing a certain cloak? Where did the ring end up? That kind of thing.
Mogrim, I think, has the ring, and he is actually going to attune to it and wear that too.
Okay, perfect. A ring of protection +1.
Matt, didn't you want Guy to have the sword?
Guy can take the sword. I know that you were interested in it as a player, Scott. I just wasn't sure if Ornan was interested in having something that could kill again.
Oh, he would just find a smith to upgrade his hammer if no one was going to use it.
Yeah, I'll take the sword then. Yeah.
All right, that does require attunement as well.
I'll take off my gloves of swimming and climbing.
What? Ornan would want someone else to have the horn, with the understanding that if you need help, please call me.
Okay. Yeah, as you recall, the horn of distress, when you blow it, it basically sends a sending message to anyone in your plane of existence who will instantly know who blew the horn and which direction and how far away you are.
Plus, it plays some pretty sweet, trombone parts from old Mighty Mighty Boss Tone songs.
I think that would be really sick with
go.
my flute. Somebody should pick that up so we can get on a band here.
Ooh. Nice.
Hey, Paul, is that sword already in D&D Beyond, or do I need
Yes,
to just...
it is named Goringdel. So if you are taking the sword, look for the sword Goringdel. Goringdel.
All right, added to my equipment. And I'm over capacity.
Ornan will take the boots of water walking if nobody wants them.
Okay, fantastic. Now, just remember, these boots do not require attunement, and literally they cannot go below water. which means if you're walking on water and somebody pushes you over, your body will go underwater, but the soles of the boots will stay above water.
Cool. Cool.
If you can imagine that.
It sounds like you're going to drown inadvertently with your feet just sticking up above the water.
It looks like they do require attunement.
Oh, they should not require attunement. Sorry, I will get rid of that because there is a definite drawback to them. So, yeah,
Okay.
Don't worry about the attunement.
Okay, so Ornan's wearing those then.
Okay, very good. So then I think we have... Oh, who's got the Cloak of Clear Mind, the +2 to wisdom saves?
Ooh, that sounds really nice, too.
And it does require attunement.
I already have proficiency to wisdom saves, so I'm already at a +5 there.
I'm at a +0,
That could be helpful then, maybe.
but I don't know what everybody else is.
I have 4, so.
I have a +11 on my wisdom save.
Oh, Jesus. All right, Mogram. Nerd.
That's the
Nerd
one.
alert.
That's my big one.
Or we could sell it. We could make some money off of it later.
It is in an elvish cut as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not going to wear that.
Which means that it's a bell-bottom cloak. It's a boot-cut
Ooh,
cloak.
fancy.
Bootcut.
Low waist.
As you guys approach Grimwater Grove, a couple things that I did not mention that you would also remember from your conversation with this elvish commander, Eliana. That is, you recall her talking about the Ilithar, which means the prince or the heir. And that is someone named Ardril. And Ardril is the one in charge here in Grimwater Grove.
Interesting.
You are standing here on the south slope, or south slop, if you will. You can see that some of these buildings around you, you see people moving about. You see humans mostly, you see a few dwarves, you see some halflings, and every once in a while you do see an elf, but they always seem to be standing kind of apart. And usually the elves that you see here moving around the south slope and moving along the Weeping Walk, they are in uniform, or they are dressed far better. They are moving in squads. They're moving in pairs. You don't see elves moving around by themselves here. There is definitely this separation of the elves here in South Slope compared to everybody else.
Before we go into this town, but as it's approaching, I'll say, all right, so we all have our cloaks. Do we need to make any of us invisible so that we can sneak in and I'll be the elven face of the party? And with only one elf in the party, do you think that we would stand out too much and draw too much attention?
How racist are they against, gnomes and stuff? Because we got a couple of us.
They're probably as racist as the people of Kladvina are against them. They're like the Little Brother brothers, but they don't rhyme as much.
Don't love that.
As you are standing here in the South Slope, you do see that other people are moving along the Weeping Walk as well, not just elves. So it looks like there is some traveling between South Slope and the main city. So that probably is not going to be a problem. Also, as you were getting closer to the city, you saw a couple of other groups of hodgepodge, kind of mix and matched, basically mercenary groups. So it looks like there are other people who have been working for Eldoralus. The elves have hired up some local muscle to help to fill out their ranks, is what it looks like.
Okay, do we go by Wilhelm Associates, or do we come up with a new, cool, kick-ass name just for this subterfuge?
I'm not sure I can keep up with any more names, Mr. Lacrosse.
But it's kind of my thing. I believe right now it's Sleeve McDykel. Don't forget that.
And Ornan is the Knight of Ivy and Lath.
That's right.
And my name is Howard.
You can call me Sally Super Rich. It's a whole new personality.
How about this for our new party name? Just for us, we're going through here pretending to be, mercenaries. Howard and Sally's Good Time Family Fun Band.
I love this.
Rolls off the tongue, honestly.
Rolls off of something.
Annalise is like, sure, works for me, but we only have 2 instruments, and I don't think we should actually blow one of them.
Right. We'll just say it's it's ironic. It made sense when we first came up with the name. You know how mercenary companies are.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be real concerned with the name.
All right, Howard and Sally's Good Time Family Fun Band. I got to write that down.
Yes, that's a good idea. All right. Well, you as you guys are standing here in South Slope, you also look around. You do see, looks like off to the east a little bit, there is like a small little like neighborhood, and then beyond that, you see there is back in the trees there is a slightly larger building. It still looks like a home or a shop of some kind, but there is a shop sign, and above the sign you do see what looks like a sprig, like a wood carving of a sprig of some kind of a leafy plant and a bottle. And it looks like it might be some sort of apothecary, potentially.
You know, I could probably resupply a little bit at the apothecary.
I wouldn't mind also just, asking them about what's been going on in the last few months since we've been out of town.
True. Well, okay, then we have to get our story straight. Have we been out of town, or have we been working for Eldorlas?
We were in the Feywild.
Well,
right?
I guess we're just seeing the vibe of the folks in the area.
Also, Margrim, didn't you get a bunch of reagents off of that Magus that we had captured?
Yes.
I don't think we're ready to talk about that.
I still feel weird about it. But I did take a few things.
Annalise looks down. She looks down at her feet and kind of starts shuffling her feet, but she doesn't say anything.
When we need them, we'll use them. But for now, maybe we just don't think about them.
Yeah, that was weird.
Anyway, but let's stop in here for just a little bit.
All right, let's go. Lead the way, Margrim.
As you approach this building, you see that it is, it looks like it is multiple buildings that have kind of grown and like spread and then kind of merged together in this kind of hodgepodge of houses. Maybe a red roof over here and then a thatch roof over there, different colored paint on the walls. But there is one main entrance that you can see. And as you approach, you see that the sign above the door says Briar and Thorn Apothecary.
It's a good name.
That's a really good name. We should have
Solid
been
name.
like the Briar and Thorn Family Good Time Band or whatever.
It sounds a little cold and prickly to me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You guys enter in, and you can see that this main room that you enter into, it looks like it must have been like a dining room at some point potentially, but they have kind of built this counter, and there is this big shelf behind the counter. You see all sorts of bottles and tinctures. You can see that there is some sprigs of different plants. You see that in the corner there's some potted plants, and standing behind the counter, must be standing on a stool, you see this halfling. He is well dressed. He's got gray hair swept back. He's got a goatee and a mustache. He's got like a blue jacket on. And as you walk in, he goes, "Oh, hello. Welcome to the Briar and Thorn Apothecary. I'm Ferris."
Oh, Ferris, it's so nice to see another person who you can see eye to eye with.
He is towering over you because he's standing on a stool behind the counter. But yes, he's like, "Oh, well, welcome in. Welcome into the Briar and Thorn. What brings you to my establishment? You're looking for something in particular?"
Yes, I would love to see what kind of reagents and components you might have. Also, if you have any completed potions or anything of that nature, that could be quite helpful for us.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, I do have some potions. I also have some tinctures for that fungus that's been going around. You make sure you just the best cure is to just change your socks every day. But if you can't do that, I got your stuff right here. And he holds up this bottle with like this goopy, like kind of yellow custardy looking like lotion. Ugh.
Oh, yes, we'll need lots of that. My colleague here, what was your name? Harry and Sally? Howard needs that for his foot.
He's like, "Harry, no, Harris, that's my brother."
Oh, Howard was just telling me that you just pee on your feet and that takes care of it.
He's like, common misconception. Sometimes it can help clean your feet a little bit, but honestly, anything as powerful as this fungus that's been hitting us the last couple of months, your pee's not going to do it. Maybe if I had some Minotaur pee. He starts writing down Minotaur pee. Try Minotaur pee.
This guy knows his urine.
That sounds like a side quest that we really need to explore.
This Ferris really gets his stuff, man. I like this guy.
Who's going to milk the Minotaur for the harvest?
Listen to this guy. You don't milk the Minotaur.
As he says that, you see a slightly older halfling come in from the back room. You can tell that they're brothers or related in somehow, but this guy has a more full beard. He looks maybe about 5 to 10 years older, but similar facial structure. He is dressed a little bit more in more like rugged, like work clothes. Like this is a guy who goes out into the woods. You can see he comes walking in with like a plant in a pot, and he's like, Ferris, I'm not gonna go hunting any Minotaur for you. I already deal with all the plants. And then he turns around. Oh, hi, I'm Harris.
Greetings, Harris.
Your name is Howard.
Harris and Ferris. Yes, I am Howard. That is my name. I am Howard, and just wanted to buy some like potions and things, maybe some reagents, stuff like that.
Also, we've been kind of on the outskirts here doing some work for Eldorlas, and just wondering kind of what's been happening here closer to the capital.
Oh, you're working for Doralas, Ferris.
Can't you tell by the fancy cloaks we're wearing?
At the moment, we are mercenaries. We're not like tied to him. We're not like huge.
We're
fans
local
or
boys
anything.
and girls trying to make the best of a bad situation, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. I get what you're saying. So you're probably going to be needing like some healing potions and maybe some like antidotes and some stuff like that, huh?
Right. And can I get an insight check really quick on these guys? When we mention we're working for Eldorlas, are they going to start pulling from a different stock of like trying to poison us?
Also, do they think we're bootlickers?
Make insight.
Was that a bootlicking sound?
Yes, that was my bootlicking sound
I love
effect.
that.
I got a 9.
You had 9 insight. It's hard to say. You say, oh yeah, we're working for Eldorlas. You did. I mean, anyone could tell that the feeling in the room changed a little bit. That's what I'll give you.
Okay.
Well, again, we're not bootlickers. We're just making the best of a bad situation.
As are we. All right, well, here, I'll show you what we got. And you can see that he's got, like, lined up some healing potions. So he's got some basic healing potions for 25 gold. He's got some of the greater healing potions for 100. And then he's got like 2 superior healing potions for 200 apiece.
Ornan would buy 2 of the normal healing potions.
Okay.
I'd do one of the superiors.
I'll take a superior as well.
Okay.
I gotta find something to do with all this money. I don't say that out loud.
It's a rough situation you're in.
And then Ferris says, and by the way, I am an expert brewer and potion maker. So if you I don't know, if you have anything that you weren't sure what they were, I'd be more than happy to help try to figure out some of these things. It's kind of my hobby, is to kind of like figure out what some mystery potions and stuff are.
Do we still have mystery potions from like bubbles and stuff?
100%. 100%. Magram has potions on him. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I've got all these potions here. You could help me perhaps look into these. I totally had forgotten about that. Yes.
Roger, you've been traveling around with all these unknown substances? How many of them are exclusive?
You probably would have thought I would have tasted 1 or 2 of them by now, but I haven't.
I am so impressed with your resolve.
I must be slipping in my old age.
So, just so you guys know, I am going back in my notes to try to figure out what these potions are. And I just went past the Feast of Sweets Feast song. So, it's been a long time since you've had these potions.
It's time for the Feast of Sweets Feast.
Sweet.
All right, okay, here we go. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 potions, but one of them you already noticed was a superior healing potion. But there's 5 that you don't, or there's 4 other ones that you don't recognize. So there's one that is clear, but it has like cloudy impurities kind of floating through it. And then there's another potion that is red that has a tiny like bead of color that continues to grow and shrink and grow and shrink. And there's another potion that is like an amber color, and there is a scorpion's tail. It looks like there's some sort of like a snake fang in it. There's a dead spider, and there's even like a tiny little heart of some small animal, like maybe like a squirrel or something.
It's actually just alcohol.
And as you look at it, you swear that the heart is still beating.
Tasty.
And then there is one more that is just kind of a straw-colored potion. So those are the 4 potions.
Well, yes, I'd love help with identifying any or all of these.
Ooh, should we take bets? I bet this one here with the growing and the shrinking thing will make you bigger or smaller.
That stands to reason.
He says that'll be 10 gold per potion.
I'll pitch in 10.
Okay.
Sure.
I have a bunch of gold still, so yeah, I don't have any problem doing that.
So it's gonna be 40 gold total to identify these potions.
I'll throw it out there. I have so much gold, so no worries.
I know we all have so much gold.
My treat.
Well, let's not say that to him.
Did I say 10 gold? I meant 20 gold. And then you see Harris kind of shake his head. The more rugged one, and the older guy, and he kind of like, well, I'll leave you to it, and he leaves the room. This first one, the clear one that has like the white floating impurities in it, he's like, this is a great potion. This one should really help you get out of a mess. If you drink it for 1 hour, you will be lighter than a feather, and you will be able to fly.
Oh, that's sick as hell.
Yeah.
Wow.
And with this one, and the one that has the little bead in it that keeps growing and shrinking and growing and shrinking, he says, "Well, you friend elf, you're half right. This one only makes you grow. So this is a potion of growth."
Oh. And Toon says, I think you should carry this one. I think it'd be awesome to see you get extra super big.
I wouldn't
that's a
fit
good
in a
idea.
car anymore.
It's okay. You're not really very good at it.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, why don't you hold on to this one?
Okay. Well, then there is the potion that is just kind of straw colored.
That's just Mogram's pee.
Yeah, that's just Margaret. There's little floating impurities in it and stuff. No, he kind of looks at it. He kind of takes his little pinky, sticks it in, takes a little sip, little taste of it on the tip of his tongue. Like, this is a potion of watchful rest.
It's the Minotaur I was looking for.
Side quest complete.
Yes. So when you drink this potion, you gain these benefits for 8 hours. Magic cannot put you to sleep, and you can remain awake during a long rest and still gain its benefits.
Oh, wow. What was it called again?
It's called a potion of watchful rest, but it does not work on elves because they don't technically sleep.
Oh, yeah, I don't need that, but you're welcome to. You guys want to live like I do? Every single day?
It's an 8-hour energy.
It's an 8-hour energy.
I could
It's
snort
an
that.
8-hour. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I think Sylvie maybe makes the most sense to have that.
Yeah, I could always use some more caffeine.
Very good. Yeah, you could literally take that and you could like study all night and put spells in your spellbook and still be
I need
long
to
rested.
stay
and
in
wake
that
up.
planar. I need to get that planar contact so I can talk to my boyfriend, Virgin.
Oh, wait, who told?
Oh my gosh. All right. And then we have got the last potion. The last potion, the one with the scorpion's tail, the beating heart, the snake's fang. That one is, he's like,
Cream soda.
He goes, this is a very,
You're half
very
right.
potent.
It's cream soda. It's Dr. Pepper cream soda.
He says, this potion, wow, I'll give you 500 gold for this potion right here. Without telling you what it does. 500
No,
gold
tell
for
us
it.
what it is. We
Whoa.
wouldn't- obviously not.
Yeah, clearly it's worth more than the 500 then. So
Well,
I'd love to hear
It's not
what
worth
it
that
is.
to everybody, but it would be worth it to me.
Well, that's great. Let's hear how much it's worth to us by knowing what it is.
So this potion is called a potion of longevity. And when you drink it, it will actually make you younger.
Mogram
So-
gets a twinkle in his
I don't
eye.
want that.
In game terms, your age will reduce by 1d6 plus 6 years.
Oh, that would be awful. I could go back to being 9 years old.
But minimum of 13 years old. You cannot get younger than 13.
That's
Okay.
terrifying. I don't want to be 13.
Get that potion away from me.
I'll hold on to this one.
I literally just got over that age.
So he's like, but you gotta be careful with this potion, because if you've ever drank one before this one, if this isn't your first, then there's a chance instead of getting younger, it'll actually make you older. So if you've had one of these before, you probably shouldn't be drinking it. Just saying.
Guy looks pointedly at Magram.
I have not, I promise. This is just the effect of good hydration and
I did
plenty of
not.
sleep.
None of your business if he's gotten work done.
Yeah, plenty of sleep, good hydration. That is all that this beauty is required. But I'll hold on to this. You never know when this may be particularly helpful.
You're telling me that your skin is just moisturizing.
It's just how it is, you know. I've always been blessed with radiant, supple skin.
It's all that baby powder.
I use a lot of baby powder. When I can get fresh babies, that is.
Oh my gosh. I do not like that at all. Jeez.
Oh, Howard,
was
you have.
Oh my gosh. That is I don't know how to respond at this moment.
It's incredible.
There's just silence in this potion shop as we're all staring at each other. Well, time to go.
It's like, well, I've got other potions if you're interested. I got, potions that'll help you resist like all the poisons and acids and fires and all that kind of stuff. I've got potions that can give you a lot of strength. I got potions that can keep you from having
Diarrhea is the word. Like I have so much diarrhea.
Wait, potions that give
It's in this
diarrhea?
big pink bottle.
I know. Do you
Honestly,
have?
that is not a hard potion to make. I can make a potion that gives you diarrhea. You give me 5 minutes, I will make it.
Well, if there's anything else you are needing, you know where to come. And see, with this, he's like, a couple of these potions, like this potion of flying, if you give me enough time and if you give me enough money, I can make another one of these. I think I have the ingredients to make one more.
When you say enough time, what's enough time? Because we're kind of just passing through.
Well, I got to brew, and so it would take me, if I start brewing now, I think it'll be done simmering in 24 hours.
Oh, I think we were hoping to leave by then.
It is a speedy brew, though. That is impressive.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Hey, actually, no. We had run into some conflict out, in the hinterlands, and we have some spoils to sell. More mundane things, some swords, some armor, and things like that. Is there a place in town, an outfitter there we could maybe look to sell those things at?
If it's your best bet's probably going to Ironroot Forge. Thrin he's the blacksmith there, and he's really, really good at what he does. But he's always looking for steel. So if you got like some steel or something that you're not wanting anymore, he'd probably be the best place to get a good price. And if that's what you're looking, he's over on the east side. In East Side. If you're looking for more like fancy duds, like I don't know, like a nice new dress or something, or maybe some books or something, then that's gonna be on the west side. That's gonna be on Velvet Row, in Hallberg. Okay.
All right.
So-
Thank you so much.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go see Thren. I have some things to sell.
Yes, and I will cast a message to Ornan and say we should probably not sell the elf stuff, just the frog stuff here.
All right. Could
Ornan
anyone
says
else hear
out
Guy's
loud
mind?
to
Could anyone else hear Guy's voice in their head?
No, I think it was a message for you, Ornan. I think generally keep those things to yourself, bud.
You can reply in your head.
It's not often that I hear his voice in my head, but I see his face in my mind all the time.
Guy looks at Magram with I don't know, like he's finally seeing him for the first time, and he's liking what he sees.
Markram doesn't even realize what he said. He's just fiddling with potions and putting them in his pouch and going about his business.
He does have deft hands.
All right.
No.
Hey, I'm the only one that can flirt with Jordan, okay? Me.
What's going on over here?
Fading to black with characters controlled by my brother is one thing, but with other people in my adventuring party, that's where I draw the line.
Ew.
All right. You guys leave the Briar and Thorn Apothecary, and you start leaving South Slope, heading upon the Weeping Walk towards the Weeping Gate as you approach the city of Grimwater Grove.
There's sure a lot of weeping. Do we know any history of why it's called is it just wet here? I know it's swamp, but...
Make a history check.
It's grim, and there's weeping.
I
And...
know, it seems a little suspect, though.
Wait, where did you grow up again, Magram? Wasn't it something like Crybaby Forest or something?
Little bitch boy town.
No.
Oh my god.
Wasn't called Bitch Boy Town.
Oh gosh. All right, what'd you get for history, Sylvie?
I got 18 history.
You get 18 history. Okay, so with your 18 history, as you are walking across the Weeping Walk, you look down, and this is sort of a combination investigation and history check. As you look down into this water that the Weeping Walk goes over, this kind of river, the main channel runs along the east side of the city. It never actually kind of curves around to the front. It never actually curves around to the south. It stays pretty much on the east side of the city. So when you guys sailed down here in the Lady Hawk, you didn't actually kind of go around the city. You stayed on that east side. But the Weeping Walk kind of goes across this other channel that cuts across the south side of the city. And as you're walking across it, you look down and you can see the tops of these buildings poking up. And with your high history check, you recognize that pretty much all of these buildings look to be about the same era or age. And potentially this is called the Weeping Walk, not necessarily because of the rainfall, but because maybe something catastrophic happened, decades ago, and wiped out a big chunk of the South Slope. And as you're actually walking across, you recognize, actually, wait a minute, there's a very real possibility that this used to slope up towards Grimwater Grove, and this part may have actually been called North Slope. So there's South Slope, and then a dip, and then North Slope, but the dip kind of overtook the rest of North Slope, and there is no more North Slope.
Can I tell how old the houses are, at all? Estimate?
It's hard to tell just because they've been underwater for so long, but you would say it's been at least probably 50 or 60 years.
Okay, so
the only thing that's
okay.
left is stone and that kind of thing. And this it's been long enough that this causeway that you're walking across, I mean, it's a bridge, but it looks pretty beat up and old as well. As you are walking across it, you see it's about 15 feet wide. So it seems narrower than it is because it is also very long, but it's wide enough for basically for one wagon to go. It's not really wide enough for two wagons to pass. So if one wagon starts out heading north on this Weeping Walk and there's a wagon heading south, one of them has to either stop or back up in order to get across this bridge.
And I'm looking at the map right now, Paul, and patrons, you can look at the map as well. I can see that there are buildings under the water.
Yes, that's a little trick I did with the map. Pretty pleased with that myself.
Whoa, it looks hella cool.
Oh, thank you.
So do I leave footprints in the snow, or do I just walk over the snow entirely?
You leave footprints in the snow, but they are very faint.
Ghost footprints.
Yes, it looks like a footprint in the snow that has already filled in with snow for a couple of hours. All right, as you are walking along this causeway, you can actually look down over the side, and you can see old buildings, kind of some ruined furniture that's still under the water. The bridge is kind of slippery because it's just made of wood, and it's covered in snow and ice. But there's fencing along both sides, railing, so you're not going to fall off. But you are approaching the city of Grimwater Grove, and I need everyone to make survival or animal handling checks.
But horses are stupid, so I'll do survival.
Wait, we don't have horses, but
You do not.
does it have to do with horses, Paul?
No.
Dang it, I have advantage, and it's never come up.
Morgan got a 22 survival.
Damn, Sylvie rolled a natural 19.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Morgan got a 18 survival.
Guy got a 19 animal handling.
Man, you guys, okay, so here's the deal. You guys are walking across this bridge when you hear you know how eagles actually have, they actually
The best
chirp?
vision of anyone on the planet.
The animal birds. No, eagles, they chirp. They don't ha! They actually more like a
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever.
we
I
usually
can't
hear
do
a
it right now.
red-tailed hawk sound effect when we see an eagle,
'Cause they
but
just
really
sound
they're
kinda
more like
goofy. Could have had the turkey.
You hear something kind of like that eagle chirp, but it's deeper and fuller. And with all of your guys' checks,
Is it a dinosaur?
it's not a dinosaur. You recognize the sound of what you have heard or read about as the sound of griffins.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's
cool.
sick as hell.
Cool.
I was hoping it
So-
was going to be Ripper Birds, and then I could do my Tickrus voice. Riding in on a Ripper Bird. It's a diplomatic mission to Grimwater Grove.
Griffins are so cool. I've always wanted to see a griffin. Sylvie's gonna start scanning the sky.
Okay. As you scan the sky, you do see two birds, or bird-shaped flying creatures. If you make why don't you make an investigation check? Because you can see that there are two creatures flying up very high in the sky.
26.
Okay, with your 26, as you're scanning, you see these creatures flying up there, and you do instantly recognize, yes, these are actually griffins. With your 26, you can pick out certain details. You can see that one of them is your classic griffin coloring, sort of golden, like golden feathers, sort of a brownish tone to its coloring. The other one that you see flying is actually black. All black feathers. And the other thing that you see with your 26 investigation, the more important thing, is you see that there are people riding these griffins, and the people that are riding them,
New mission, guys.
you see that they are more than likely elves.
We're stealing a griffin.
That is the coolest horse I have ever seen.
Some sort of aerial cavalry of the elves of Eldoralus.
All right, guys, we need one. New mission.
With your 26 investigation, you would know also that black griffin is
The
unique.
baddest bitch. Hell yeah. I need that.
You continue to approach the gate. As you continue along the Weeping Walk, the Weeping Walk eventually branches a little bit, so there is now a wider bridge that goes towards the main gate, and there is a thinner bridge, like a walking bridge, a pedestrian bridge that goes towards a postern gate of some kind. Which gate would you guys want to go towards, the postern or the main gate?
Maybe the postern? We don't have a cart or anything with us.
I feel like wherever the flow of people, casual people are.
That main gate is quite large.
You can see people coming and going on both walkways, but you do see like little carts and wagons are definitely on the left path, on the west path, the wider path that goes to the main gate. As you guys kind of take the walking path, which is basically people coming in with packs with things to sell. You see a couple of families walking. You can hear some conversation as you're approaching. You hear one kid saying, Mommy, you said we'd sleep in a feather bed tonight. Oh, I know. I don't know how to tell her that they won't let us into Baldur's Gate. Sorry. But yeah, you see families of refugees and stuff that are approaching Grimwater Grove as well. And you just kind of line up in the queue. As you approach and you wait your turn, you see that there are elvish soldiers who are guarding both of the gates.
Are we sure we should wear these cloaks through the gate?
Make insight checks, everybody.
I mean, it might be best to just kind of pass as just casual travelers for now. Maybe Guy could get away with something special.
Maybe, but I have the perfect response with my nat 20 for a 25.
Oh, nice. Morgan
Well-
got a 22.
Sylvie got 26.
Ornan got a 17. Sorry, I didn't break 20 like the rest of you.
Oh my gosh! Would you guys all recognize just their body language? Elves don't like when you picture like a soldier just kind of slacking off. It's usually like a human soldier. That's what you kind of picture. These elves are the equivalent of bored.
You don't know what I picture.
Blasé. Like this job is just kind of boring. Nothing has happened. You see that they're just kind of watching people as they walk through. They're not stopping anybody. They do stop to look in the carts and things, but anybody on foot, they pretty much just wave on through. And the distinct impression you guys get as you are approaching with your high insight rolls is these people here, these elves are, they are content and feel like they are completely in control of this city.
Okay, then yeah, Sylvie definitely is going to cover up anything that's going to stand out and just look like a normal dude.
Yeah, Ornan's going to pull off the cloak and put it in his pack.
Guy is going to hide behind Ornan's backpack, like try to get out of view, and cast invisibility on himself.
Okay.
And anybody else who wants to come with me, Annalise.
Principal instantly turns invisible too.
And Annalise, you also look like a follower of Iona. I don't know. Have we seen any other like priests of Iona? Anybody in that garb walking around?
No, you have not. Very good question. You
Annalise?
have not seen any Aeonans. Annalise says there is a temple here.
Hold my hand, and I'll turn us both invisible, and we'll hold hands.
She reaches out and holds your hand, and she goes, "Oh, won't you hold my hand? Hold my hand." Isn't that Hootie? No?
It was
Never
something.
mind.
Something like that.
Anyway.
I'm making us both disappear as a level 3.
All right. Yeah, you and Annalise, poof, you disappear from sight. As everybody else approaches, you are just waved on through into the city.
You die.
Yeah. They say the equivalent
That was
of
no wish for
Ipada.
hello from the episode.
Yes. They wave you on through, and they don't even really watch as you go by. You have weapons and everything, and they're not concerned. I guess the other thing that you recognize is it seems like potentially Grimwater Grove has been under their control for a while. Long enough that it has become a sort of a cake easy posting. All right, you guys move through the gate and into Grimwater Grove proper.
Guys, we're really good at this.
I have a feeling that these guys are going to be some easy marks. They don't seem to be too suspicious.
So I'll tell you what you guys see as you walk in. The first thing you see is straight ahead. There are basically 3 roads. The city of Grimwater Grove is basically a circle, and there is a road that goes and curves around the perimeter to the west. There's a road that curves around the perimeter to the east, and then there's a road that goes straight north and goes right to the large cathedral structure on the hill. You can see that there is a sign post right there as you walk in, and it has an arrow pointing sort of northwest along that western road, and it says Hallberg, Torsen, and then you see a street sign that says Velvet Row. And then the arrow pointing to the east says East Side, and then the arrow pointing to the north actually says Hall of Saints.
Well, I'm going to head to the forge. I think that's the east way. To see Thrash? What was his name?
Crush.
Thrin.
Thrin.
Where is everybody else going? Oh, I was also going to say, I forgot. There's more. There's more to see. Straight ahead, right at the intersection, there's also an inn called the Drippy Tankard.
Ah, classic.
It looks like it's a small inn. It looks like it's not super huge, but there is a sign out front that says open mic night every night.
All right, I'll go see about getting us a room there while you go sell off some of that stuff, Ornan. We can meet back at the Drippy Tankard. That sounds like an STI.
Annalise, do you want to maybe check out this Saints Row? Whatever it was.
The Hall of
Hall
Saints.
of Saints.
Say
Saints
hi
Row.
to Gad.
Oh, gosh.
Nobody played Saints Row? All right.
Matt did. I know he did.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Gat. Love that. I would be careful going in there, though. Just, who knows what they may have done with that cathedral?
I guess I just sort of thought we could kind of scope it out and see what was going on up there. Like, it seems like it's a pretty big landmark.
I'm going to have everyone make history checks.
Technically, Annalise and I are still invisible, so if she wants to go check it out while being invisible and not drawing attention to herself, that could also...
Oh, nice. I didn't even think about that.
Ooh, Margam got a nat 1 for an 8 on history.
Guy got an 18.
Sylvie got a 27.
Ronan got a 9.
I'm going to have Annalise is going to do a religion check instead. Annalise got a 22. Sylvie, you got a 27 with your history.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvie, you would know that the Hall of Saints, and Annalise speaks up, and she knows a little bit about this as well. The Hall of Saints is the large cathedral. And the thing about the Hall of Saints is it's not so much a cathedral. Basically, it is the ancestral home of somebody in history called the Priest King. And basically, the idea is he was a man that was so pious, he couldn't focus his worship onto just one god. So he built this massive cathedral, and it has numerous small chapels that are dedicated to different gods. And then the story is that the king priest lived in the tower above the transept. So like in a classic cathedral, the T shape of a cathedral, the transept is right where the main body and the transept cross. There's a big tower, and that is called the king priest's tower. But apparently the rumor, this is what you've learned in your history, is that it has been locked and unused since the end of the priest king's line. Annalise kind of speaks up, and she knows a little bit more.
Like the whole cathedral or just the tower part?
Just the tower.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The rest of the cathedral is open to the public, and it is kind of a temple, but it is basically like a bunch of small chapels inside one large building. And Annalise is like, yeah, I heard that there's a temple to like Bahamut and Denir. There's an Ilmater temple, and then Helm in there as well. Selune, Tempest. There's a lot in there.
What about Joaquin? Is there one to Joaquin?
There is one to Joaquin in there too. Yes, I do believe. And
I should
Yandala,
probably drop a couple copper there in front of that chapel.
She says, but there's no chapel to Aona in there.
Well, Aona's kind of overrepresented.
The Temple of Aona is newer, and it was built a few hundred years later. So you guys can go check out the Hall of Saints if you want to. So let's see what's happening. So Guy is going to go get rooms at the Drippy Tankard, where there's open mic night. Ornan is going to go to Ironroot Forge and speak with Thrin Ironroot. Sylvie and Annalise wanted to go to the Hall of Saints. What did Magram want to do? There's also Velvet Row, which is like the posh street that has all the expensive shops. Also, the Drippy Tankard's not the only inn in town. You would know that much too.
Yeah, but that name's solid.
It's got the sexiest name, right?
Because nobody is going
Does
to
it?
Velvet Row. Wait, Drippy Tankard has the sexiest name?
There's
not
also
Velvet Row?
There's also the Drunken Cobbler. Yeah,
The
so
drunken
Velvet
cobbler.
Row.
That's
Velvet Row is
exactly
the
what I
street.
need. I need shoes made by a drunkard.
Right, I don't feel like I want to sleep in a place.
Or maybe,
And there's also the Silver Oak.
wait, the drunken cobbler, maybe it is peach cobbler made with peach schnapps.
Well, no, that's
Ooh, there we go.
an idea.
Yeah, and then Velvet Row is just the street that has like the expensive shops.
I'll tell you what, Magram, I'll go with you to Velvet Row after we just make sure we have some rooms for the night. Sound good?
Okay, I'll go with you first, and then we can go to Velvet Row together.
I love feeling fancy. I've been meaning to get some new Gucci.
Yeah,
All right.
that sounds great. And yeah, we'll go together. And Margrim just glares at Ornan while he says it. You and I, Guy, we'll go together to Velvet Row. Just you and I.
Ornan gets really sad. Be off this way by myself.
As we're walking away, Guy puts his hand on Magram's ass.
Oh my god.
On those leather pants.
Oh my god. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
No,
Well,
he
there might
doesn't.
be a place here in Hallberg, here on Velvet Row, where you might be able to get something in white. Just saying.
Oh, something in white.
I think you should have feathers too.
Okay, so let's go ahead and roll initiative and see who we're going to go to first as you guys split up.
Guy got an 18.
Ornan got a 19.
Hey, Sylvie rolled an 18.
Margrim got a 21.
Looks like, well, Magram and Guy, you guys had advantage, but also you're closest. So here's what we'll do. We'll go Magram and Guy, and then we'll go to Ornan, and then we'll go to Sylvie. So Magram and Guy, you guys walk straight up. Now tell me, do you really want to... you guys walk straight up to the Drippy Tankard Tavern and Inn. As you guys are walking through the city, like you guys have just come in, but you do instantly start to see groups of elvish soldiers moving through the city. So you see that there's like right here by the Drippy Tankard, you see there's a group of 5. There's 2 obviously like archers, and then there's 2 soldiers with spears. And then there is, actually, they have glaives. And then there is this elvish commander. You can tell who the leaders are now that you've been around them a little bit more. The leaders have feathers on their helmets. And the more feathers they have, the higher rank they are. They put them kind of like behind the ears, sort of like Valkyrie style almost. And so you see that there are soldiers moving through the city. They are looking everywhere and being very like aware of their surroundings, but they're not approaching you. They're just kind of moving through the city.
On patrol or just like moving from one location to the next?
It looks like they're on patrol of some kind, yes. But you guys approach the front door of the Drippy Tankard. Open mic night every night. As you guys walk in, the first thing you notice is that this whole bottom floor is basically common room. There are tables set up. There is a big bar off to the left. There is there's a lot of like dining space, and there is straight ahead, kind of on the.
There's a mime.
As you come in here, you see that there are performers. You see that there is, right now on stage, there is a small gnomish man playing what looks like a violin, but he's so small, he's playing it like a guitar. And he is singing some song.
I love him.
That's incredible.
I want to put him in my pocket. I want to put him in my yard. He looks like a garden gnome.
He is singing some song in Gnomish that you guys don't understand.
I heard Ibadai, so he's singing in Gnomish.
Yes. And then you can see that like there's a couple benches off to the side, and you see that it looks like there is an elf sitting there waiting for their turn. And when I say open mic night every night, it's basically any performance, not just singing. But it looks like this elf is some sort of, well, he's kind of got like sort of
Theater
like
kid vibes.
He's got theater kid vibes, but he's got like you look at him, you kind of make eye contact with him, and you see that he does like this thing with his eyes where they cross, and then one kind of looks off to the side, and he's kind of like a fool, basically, right? Some sort of a fool. And then next to him, you see that there is this elvish woman who has a harp. No insight check needed. She looks incredibly anxious and nervous. She also looks very young. Looking around the rest of the common room, you see that there are a couple of tabaxi. You see that there's there is an orc couple at the bar. You see that there are other performers. You see that there are a couple of tables that have elves at them. And it doesn't take a lot of insight to notice that the elves sit together and everybody else sits away from them. You even see that there's one table that has like 3 Kenku sitting at it.
What are those balls on top of that loot?
Oh,
He's juggling balls.
They're juggling balls. That's easy breezy. E-E-Z-Y, B-R-E-E-Z-Y. Easy breezy,
dude.
the Kenku juggling musician.
That guy rules. Looking at the people around here, a lot of them look like either they're serving or they are waiting to go on stage.
There's 2 tabaxi who aren't waiting. There's 4 elven soldiers who are here that have kind of like they're kind of just having a meal. You see some dwarves off to one side. You see that there is a dwarf,
A mime. I know. I can't get over him.
He has white face paint except for 2 little red dots on his cheeks, and he has dyed his mustache black, but his beard is white. He is sitting on one end of the bar, and no insight check needed. You see he keeps glancing at the south end of the bar, where you see another dwarf, but this one is dressed in multiple colors with a red nose, and there is some sort of a dwarven clown here.
Clown fight.
Yes. So They all have names too.
We could probably just wait here, and then James will come to us.
You guys want to know their names?
More than anything.
Yes.
Okay. So the gnome is Master Mosey, the music maker. The elvish fool is foolish Flopsy.
Okay.
The elvish woman with the harp, her name is Enderola, the harpist.
Okay.
And then we have got Jovial Jurgen, the dwarvish clown. We have.
He doesn't look very jovial.
I know. Well, he is having like a glaring contest with the mime at the other end of the bar,
They got
Sulkin
beef.
the Silent.
Sulkin the Silent.
And then, last but not least, we have Easy Breezy, the Kenku, bard/juggler.
I love him.
I love
Right.
them all so much. Anyway, but yeah, at the bar, you see that there are two women standing behind the bar. There is, they are both about the same age, probably in their late 40s. One of them is sort of a more broad and rotund. The other one looks sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Harsh is the wrong word. It's kind of no nonsense, right?
Mogram style.
Sure, yes. And they are serving drinks, and as you approach, as you kind of come in, they kind of point at you guys as you're approaching and like, what'll it be?
A room. Well, 1, 2, 2. We need beds. There's 6 of us. There's 5 of us. There's the 3 boys and the 2 girls and a dog.
Oh, okay. You want rooms for the night? Okay, are you guys doing the open mic?
One of our members will. Her name is Sally. What was her name? Sally Richface.
I think it's Sally No Name.
super rich.
Sally Super Rich. Yes, Sally Super Rich.
Sally's super rich. All right.
And her flaming flute of doom.
Well, she's got to get in here and put her name on the list.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
mean, it looks like everyone's set is about 20 minutes, but you get the impression that people might go up multiple times.
Okay.
Potentially.
All right.
This is kind of like karaoke, but it's like more than just karaoke.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like a local talent show.
Yep.
It really is. As you guys are standing here in the bar, why don't you guys make some insight checks as you guys are kind of getting a vibe for the place.
Ooh, Markham got a 27.
And Geek got a 19.
You guys, I forget you guys are higher level now, so you guys make good rolls all the time.
Yes, that's how the dice work. Oh, what? They're level 9? Okay. 10 and above.
Okay, well, as you guys are kind of looking around the room, you do see that the elves are separated. There's 2 different pockets of elves besides the performers. Basically, right here by the front door, you see that there is a table that has 4 different elves, all in like armor. Definitely soldiers. You see that one of them looks to be a captain of some kind because they've got kind of big feathers on their helmet. And you see another one who is not wearing a helmet but appears to be dressed a little bit more. Whereas the soldiers, the 3 other ones are wearing chain and plates in their armor. This 4th one is wearing leather, but it looks very, very well made. This looks more like some sort of maybe like a ranger if you were going to classify them as a Dungeons & Dragons character. And that is the one group of elves. The other group of elves appear to all be civilians. They're wearing, elvish cut and elvish style clothing, but not armor, not carrying weapons. These appear to be potentially like either family of soldiers who've come south or potentially like traders and other business people who have come south to kind of bring trade from Forn'pithria further north up into Eldoralus.
Okay.
You guys now have rooms. That was pretty easy. It will cost you 2 gold for the night.
2 gold in 2 rooms. 1.
Oh, sorry, 1 gold for the night then.
Okay.
5 silver per room.
That's easy. I can do that.
Yeah, 3 rooms, actually. Guy wants his own room.
Okay.
So 15 silver. I can pay for that.
Oh, I won't. Yeah. I'll buy you a drink later.
As you guys are finishing up getting your rooms, you see that Master Mosey, the music maker, takes a big bow with his violin that is a normal violin, but is like a big old guitar for him. And he steps down off the stool and then you hear the more rotund of the bartenders shout out. She's like, "All right, next up at the Leaky Cauldron, we have Jovial Jurgen," and you see this dwarvish clown in the multiple colors with like the jester's cap on. You see him get up off the bar. Well, actually, you see him first take his tankard, take one last big gulp, and drain it. Set it back on the bar. Turn towards the mime at the opposite end of the bar. Stick his tongue out, and then kind of waddle and dance up to the stage, where he produces some like giant oversized playing cards, and he starts doing some close-up magic. All right. All right, and we're gonna leave Guy and Magram there. We are going to jump over now to Ornan. Ornan, you are traveling along the kind of the road that goes off to the east.
Wiping some tears from his eyes.
As you guys separated and the door opened up to that bar, to the drippy tankard, and you heard the joking and the singing in Gnomish. You're like, wait, I should have gone with them, but too late now. You are heading along the east side towards Iron Root Forge. As you come around the corner, you look up the road. You can see kind of up above the roof of some of these other buildings, you see a second temple, much smaller than the one that's up on the hill. This one is further east, and you almost immediately recognize it as a Temple of Aeona. You can see the firelight glowing behind the windows. So it looks like the Temple of Aeona is basically straight to the east of the Hall of Saints, the huge temple. But before you get to the Temple of Aeona, you do see Ironroot Forge. As you approach, you can see there is it's a pretty large building. You can hear the sounds of hammer on anvil and steel being struck. You can smell the smoke and the smell of hot steel. Kind of that burning metal smell that you hear, that you smell. If you're hearing smells, you should go see a doctor because you're probably having a stroke.
Yes.
Or a really good trip.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, I forgot. Do you guys want to see? There's the black. That's the black griffin.
You guys, we're taking this boy home.
You would also know that griffins are they're beasts. Well, they're not beasts, but they are not intelligent. They are, like they have the intelligence of like a horse or something, right? They're not going to talk to you.
Yes, but this horse does not suck.
Yeah, we still hang out with Guy.
This is the best horse that I have ever seen.
We still hang out with Guy.
Oh my gosh. All right, you approach this forge, and as you kind of come around the corner, because it's like the back of the building is to you, and you kind of come around to the front, you can see that there are actually multiple anvils and multiple forges. You see multiple apprentices who are working on steel, and you see that walking along, looking at all the different work being done, you see this dwarf. He is broad across the shoulders. He has dark skin, a thick black beard. He has kind of short hair, but he's wearing a shirt, but obviously no sleeves because he is a blacksmith. And he's got this leather apron on, and he's going around investigating all the different work that's being done. You can see him like clap his hand on one of the guy's shoulders, and you can see him pointing at something else and telling somebody else, how to do it better or whatever. It looks like this is Thrin Ironroot, and this smithy is almost like I was going to say a trade school, but it's like Thrin is training multiple apprentices at the same time. And just you, Ornan, having been around like weapons and armor your whole life, basically, you recognize instantly that the stuff that's being worked on here is high quality.
Oh there! You must be Thrin!
He turns to look at you. He's like, oh, yes, I'm Thrin Ironroot.
Word is... Ornan Opal Bleacher, at your service. I hear you're looking for metal. Steel?
Oh, You have some steel? Yes, I'm always looking for steel. My apprentices keep ruining what I get them, and you can tell he's saying this good-naturedly. You hear like a little bit like "come on" from some of the apprentices, but and he says, "Are you looking to sell some things? I might be willing to buy."
Yes, of course, and perhaps commission some work on my hammer here.
Are you showing it to him?
Yes, I'll show him the hammer.
Like, oh, well, this is pretty good. I mean, it's not. I don't want to seem like I'm gloating, but I think we could make it better.
Oh, gloat away.
I can make it better. I'm better than the person who did this.
I can appreciate confidence in craft. Let me show you what I have. This will take a moment, and Oren will start digging through his backpack, and it takes a while, but eventually
throwing things out.
Eventually, he's gonna lay out a suit of splint mail, and then he's gonna lay out the 4 suits of the frog armor on the ground in front of him.
Okay. He starts investigating he looks at the splint armor and just kind of like, and then walks past it, and he starts looking at this frog armor. He says, very interesting motif. Who is wearing this armor of the frog? And then he looks at your armor and he goes, is this a pardon, I don't mean to be rude, but is this a gnomish thing?
I don't think so.
A knightly order of gnomes?
Nope. We had a journey, went some crazy places. Perhaps there was a mushroom trip involved, but I ended up with some suits of armor.
The steel is good, and I can definitely use this. So I would be willing to pay you for all of them. So here's the deal: base price, half the cost of a new set of full plate.
Okay, so it's $1,500 per suit.
So that'd be $3,000 for the 4 suits.
Yes.
Whoa. Plus what? $375 for the splint. Something like that.
I think
right,
splint
guys,
is $200.
We didn't need to stay at the Leaky Cauldron tonight, but I'm into it.
So $100 for the splint. If you want to try to persuade him to give you more, then we can start making persuasion checks. But if you're willing to take that, then no check needed.
What? How much would it be for you to do some work on my fair hammer here, my rubber hammer?
He asks to hold it. He says, "Might I hold it?"
Of course.
He holds
Just
it.
don't rubber.
I was gonna say this is how porn starts.
He takes this hammer in his hand. He swings it a little bit. He starts looking at the different like engravings on it. He says, "Tell me, what enchantment is? I can't quite place this. What is the enchantment that's already on here?"
I don't recall the name of the enchantment, but I'm unable to kill anyone when I hit them with it. They seem to not die. Bones break for sure, but they don't die.
Interesting. He kind of leans in close. He says, "There is one good thing about this occupation. The elves aren't nearly as hesitant when it comes to magic. In fact, they've actually sought me out in many instances to enhance some of their gear and some of their weapons using arcane arts. So, I guess, what is it you're looking for?"
Well, what I have in mind is a little bit more etchings and perhaps some gnomish writings on the side. I just wanted to hit. For example, if I were to roll a dice, instead of adding 1, I think I would like it to add 2.
I think that can be arranged. It will cost, and it will take a little time.
How much time and what cost are we discussing?
For 1,500, I can have it done in 4 days. But for 2,500, I can have it done tomorrow. I will just have to put everything else on hold.
Well, 2,500 sounds fantastic. Do we shake? Is there a thing I sign? Is there a deposit?
He looks at you and
Kiss on the mouth.
Actually, he just walks up to you and he says, "So we're making a deal?"
I believe so.
And he reaches around, grabs you up in a big hug, and lifts you off the ground.
Oh, dear.
3 inches. 3 inches because he's not that much taller than you. And he gives you a big hug. He says, "All right, it's a deal. You can come for it tomorrow evening."
All right, I'll be here.
And then he turns around. Do you speak Dwarvish?
No, Ornan does not speak Dwarvish.
He says something in Dwarvish, and all of his apprentices stop and turn towards him, and they all kind of start putting their tools down, and they come over, and he says, "All right, Ornan Opalbleacher, we'll see you tomorrow." And then he goes off, and he starts talking with his different apprentices, who are not all dwarves, but he speaks to them in Dwarvish.
Yippee!
You just commissioned a +2 enhancement to your weapon. Very, very good.
Nice.
And last but not least, we have Sylvie and Annalise. Sylvie and Annalise, you start heading north. You start walking along the road that kind of winds a little bit towards the Hall of Saints. As you come to sort of there's like a square or like a plaza out in front of the hill that leads to, or that the Hall of Saints is built on. And the first thing you notice as you come towards this plaza is that this road is relatively wide, but on the left side you see there is a large fortified manor, and then on the right side you see that there is this sort of fortified building that has 3 towers, sort of one on the northeast, one on the southeast, and then one kind of on the west. And you see that they flank either side of this main road. And actually, as you're looking, you can see that there are flags flying from the manor house on the west. The flags look like they are kind of long, not spindly is the wrong word, but they're long and thin pennants that are waving, that are green with silver. And you see that this looks to be potentially like, there's no castle here in Grimwater Grove. This would be the closest thing to it. It is a manor house, but it is a fortified manor house. So there's thick walls, there is a tower, but it's definitely a place for living as opposed to defending.
Was it fortified? Like, are these new fortifications, or was it already like that and they just took over it?
It looks like it was already like that.
Okay.
The building to the east, it looks like it might be a garrison of some kind. You can see that there are soldiers moving about. And actually, as you look at this building to the east, you see from out of the sky, you see a griffin come and land on the top of one of these towers. So it looks like this is also potentially where these griffins are roosting.
Okay, I want to check in on that.
Okay, so you guys gather a little bit of information, just randomly talking to people around you, and I'll just give you some. The building to the east is called Sorvid Manor, and that is where the Ilithar Ardril, the prince, that is where he has made his home. So that's basically like the capital of Grimwater Grove. Okay, and as you recall from last time, I know it's been a couple weeks, Ilithar Ardril is the one who is leading the forces south of Kladvina in Grimwater Grove and further south. And he is an heir to the throne of Eldoralus. And then the building on the east side that I said was a garrison, it is actually, yes, it's called Grimwater Garrison, and not only is it a garrison, but it's also like a dungeon. It's also sort of like a town hall. So like court is held here. So it's sort of like a catch-all for a municipal building. Okay,
So multi-purpose.
Yeah, multi-purpose. And then this plaza is called Saints Square. As you approach the hill that goes up towards the Hall of Saints, you see just how big this cathedral actually is. I don't know if you recall back in Beregrad, but in Beregrad there was a massive cathedral that had been left unused for decades, and the Church of Iona was sort of redoing it, revamping it for their own use. This cathedral is bigger than that. It is a massive, massive structure. I guess you guys are going to the Hall of Saints, right? That was kind of your plan?
Yeah. I mean, it's good to know where these folks' base is, but I don't really want to walk in there.
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys approach then the Hall of Saints, you see that there is a large staircase that leads up into the building itself. You glance kind of behind as you're approaching. You see that behind it on the east and on the west there are two other buildings, and you see like elvish soldiers and like elves in like robes and elves in fancy clothes coming in and out of both of those buildings, right? So it looks like there's some sort of official use going on in these two other buildings here on the on this hill. You gather as well that one of them is called the guest house, one of them is called the servant's house. But the Hall of Saints, as you walk in, you look up and you can see the ceiling is this huge pointed Gothic arch, barrel vaulted ceiling that is like 120 feet up. It is so high.
Majestic.
Yes, exactly. And then along the side in like a Christian cathedral or Catholic cathedral where you'd see like windows and things, instead of seeing windows, there are actually like walls that come down with big elaborate doors that lead into these side chapels. And as you start to walk down the sort of the nave of this cathedral, you see there's other people in here and people are worshiping. And so what they do is they come in here and they kind of will walk into one of the chapels and close the door behind them. It's not like one person at a time or anything. Like you can go into a chapel that other people are in, but the doors all kind of keep those areas separate from other areas. Okay. So you can have some privacy in the worship of your specific deity. As you are walking along, you see that there are signs above each of the doors. And you see there is a sign for Bahamut. There's a sign for Denir, Eldath, Helm, Ilmater, Lathander, Moradin, Mistra, Ogma, Salune, Tempest, Torm, Timora, Joaquin, Yandala, and one is interesting. You see that there is one of these chapels that has, instead of having...
It's for Jesus.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
Instead of having like dwarves and humans and like halflings going in and out, you see there's one that is almost entirely elves going in and out.
That's what I wanted to find.
Make an investigation check, just make an investigation check as you're kind of looking around and kind of gathering information.
16.
16? Okay. So with your 16, it looks like there's something different about this chapel, and it's not just the elves that are coming and going in and out of it.
I think that might be a secret entrance to something special.
Well, the door itself is discolored in places. Like there's a couple of bands of discoloration on this wooden door, and you start to think like, why is there this weird kind of stripe across it? And then you realize this door was like barricaded for years. There were boards that were keeping this chapel shut. This chapel has a sign above it, and you can understand it because it's written in Elvish, and it says Coralon Lorethian, who is an Elvish deity. And it looks like the elves who are here in Grimwater Grove are doing their worship there.
Oh, they're just actually worshiping. Oh, okay. Well, I'll allow it.
Wait, is that the name of... Do we recognize that? Was that a statue? Is that what... That wasn't Elsewin.
Nope, that was not Elsewin.
No. That's okay.
Yeah, that was a...
She was a historical figure.
Eliastria or whatever. However you say that.
Gotcha,
name.
yeah.
So that is the elvish statue that you have seen in the past, was to Eliastria, something. But yeah, so you do see all these different... there's even Moradin is here, who is a dwarvish god. Yandala is a halfling goddess. So you see all these different deities all in one place. And as you look up, you can see at the transept, you do see that there is like a staircase that comes up from the side and it kind of winds around like a spiral up to the tower to like a doorway that's built into the ceiling. It looks like there's like some sort of like an entry there.
Roost?
Well, no, this would be the priest king's tower that supposedly has been shut. Unused since the end of the priest king's like dynasty. And with your history check, you would know the priest king is hundreds of years ago.
Does it look like it's been used at all? Like, is it kind of like quartered off, or is it sort of brand new looking?
It doesn't look brand new, but there's nobody's going up the stairs to this door into the tower. But there's also nothing blocking you from going and trying.
I'm not going to do that. That seems like kind of like a violation of the rules. Annalise, you should do it.
Annalise says, I think right now we're just gathering information.
Oh, yeah.
She does says, it is too bad that Aeona's not represented here, but I mean, Aeona is relatively new compared to the worship of a lot of these deities.
Well, she also has her own temple, I think, just across the way.
Yes, but she only has her temple here because she didn't have her... There was no place to worship here in the city when the worship of Aeona spread. So a new temple was forced to be built.
That's true. That do be how it is.
Yes, but what about Second Temple?
Second. Well, it looks like the elves are definitely religious, if nothing else, and concentrated in this area anyway because of the compound. So, I mean, I don't know if that means we should avoid this area or if it means we should come check it out more, but at least we know.
Yeah. And also seeing the Hall of Saints. I mean, this is we see it from the river, but I mean, I'm glad we stopped. It's beautiful.
It is majestic.
All right. You're going to just hang out there for a while and kind of see what there is to see and kind of take in some of the structural beauty, or are you going to head back towards the Drippy Tankard?
I mean, I mostly want to just kind of see like how active it is and where people were going, so mostly the elves. So honestly, after that, I'd be down to go back and get my spot in my flute playing.
Okay. You're going to go get in line for your performance.
You're going to show up just in time to have your name announced, Sally Super Rich.
Oh, that's me.
That's the best name that any of us have come up with ever, I think.
Oh my gosh. All right. We'll say this. We'll say that you guys have been kind of watching some of the performances. So Guy and Magram, you guys kind of watch some of the performances. Ornan, Sylvie, and Annalise, you all wander back towards the Drippy Tankard all around the same time.
So Magram, that close-up magic, he was really good. I had no idea where he hid that
It's a butt plug.
Oh my god.
Up on stage. Ta-da!
All right, you guys are all back at the Drippy Tankard. All right, we'll say that at this point, Jovial Jurgen has been done. You guys have already listened to Easy Breezy. Endriola the Harpist is currently up performing. You can see her interesting thing about her is that she starts to play the harp, and you can see that she's like struggling and nervous. So she sits on the stool, and then she turns her back to the audience, and the music gets much, much better. All right, you guys are all here in the Drippy Tankard. I think, Guy, you let Sylvie know, by the way, Sally Rich Girl or whatever your name is, you're on deck.
Sally Super Rich, yes.
Sally Super Rich. All right, you guys are standing here in the tavern, and you see come walking in this older, probably in his 50s, maybe late 50s, but broad. This guy has the look, he's an orc, and he has the look of somebody who at one point in their life was very physically like intimidating and strong, and has now aged, but you still see that leftover muscle that you see in some of these older folks. He's
probably
got
makes him look more intimidating, actually.
Yeah.
You see like wrinkles on his face. You see a scar on one side of his face. You see he's got this thick kind of graying beard, his receding hairline. You see he comes walking in to the bar, and I want everyone to make perception checks as he walks in, walks around the bar, walks up to the bar next to Mogram, who's sitting at the bar.
You got a 15.
So we got an 8.
Ornan got a 14.
I got an 18.
And Annalise got a 12. All right. So as you guys are all kind of in here doing your thing, you see this orc come walking in. He walks past the tables. The harp music is playing. He walks up to the bar and he calls out, "Amlina, I need my regular." And then the stern-faced woman behind the bar, she nods, turns around, grabs a bottle, hands it to him. She goes, "Here you go, Kazagan." And he kind of holds it up, and then he starts to turn around and he walks out. As he walks back through the bar, all the way out and right back out the door, Mogram, with your 18, you see, as soon as he walked in, the elf soldier in leather armor, that's more like ranger-looking elf, you saw him look over, quickly make eye contact with the orc, and then glance back at the table and continue his conversation. Then, as the orc left, almost exactly 1 minute later, this elf stands up, claps one of the other elves on the back, says something in Elvish, and leaves.
Intriguing.
Very interesting.
The sun is going down in Grimwater Grove. It is nighttime, and Mogram, you think you saw something important, but you're not quite sure what. As then the heavy-set woman behind the bar, whose name is Taryn, you found out, calls out, "All right, Sally Richface, you're up!" And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Wait, Guy
Nice.
quickly
Close
looks at the
enough.
place setting where that ranger, the elven ranger, was sitting. Was he eating potatoes?
Boiled, mashed, stewed.
You see that, yes, there were potatoes on his plate, and then you look around and you see everybody's eating potatoes.
Awesome. I love this
Wait,
place.
everyone's part of a thieves guild?
Wait, you can eat potatoes. It's just about talking about potatoes.
Oh.
Oh, gosh. All right, you guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for playing. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we finally get to investigate some of the maps and areas of Grimwater Grove.
You've been trying to
I've
get us
got-
here for months.
Maybe naming it something more pleasant than Grimwater, you know? Like, fun water.
This is the third time you guys have been by it, and you finally stopped in. All right, you guys. Well, hey, thank you guys for playing. Don't forget, check out our Patreon. You can check out our store, all of the things. And until we get together next time, we hope you have a great time.